Virtual homework.
Virtual homework.
Jinx.
Are you for real? Do I owe you a soda?
Jinx, personal Jinx lock, 1, 2, 3, 4. You owe me a Coke.
Virtual homework podcast, ignoring whatever Dana said. This is the podcast for all gaming entertainment news, celebrity news, the real deal. You think you know, you don't. Tune into Virtual Homework to understand all life's
Since
questions.
When were we any of this?
Virtual Homework podcast.
Name
ignoring
3 celebrities
Dana's
we've talked about on here.
Soldier Boy, Juicy J.
Like news about them.
We like them. That's news.
That's not. We said it before.
It's news as much as we want. Well, anyway, what is the Virtual Homework podcast in Dana's words? I'll let you dictate this conversation.
So you're going to tell me
now.
what to do. It's okay. So we give each other a game to play, and we play it, and we come back, and we typically one of us hates it, other one loves it, and after the podcast, after everything's off, we say how much we are disgusted with each other's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Not just opinion, but who we are as people. We're just disgusted that I even know this person. But before we actually get into the video games, there were a few topics, like probably 80 or 50 topics, whatever you choose, but that we have to talk about before we get into it. So you mentioned on the previous podcast that you would take this entire week and you would think about where you would explode.
I don't know, probably I don't want to get personal, I don't know, like my brother's wedding or something.
Oh my god. That's a terrible place to explode. I'm judging you. I'm judging you. Why would you explode there? Let's not even get into it. Let's not even get into it.
Do I have to explode?
Do you not remember a conversation about how if you had to pick a place to explode,
what if I don't want
the
to
best
pick?
Place? I picked a substitute teacher magic school bus situation. You disliked it, and you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend the entire next week talking about where I would explode."
I don't remember what I had for breakfast. And I'm going with my brother's funeral.
Jesus. All right. Well, he's exploding all over his brother. We understand that, and it's how it's gonna work. The other thing that I want to discuss, and this is really not just a me and Dana conversation.
It's everybody conversation.
The topic of spoilers. Yeah, this is in everyone. Everyone's involved. Even you, the viewer. All 930 of you.
Dumbledore
931. Jesus. I mean, I agree. He did die because that's how it's written. But a lot of you, because there's probably millions or billions. What do you guys think about spoilers? So we discussed on the 999 podcast, which you probably have listened to by now. It is out. However, we didn't want to talk about the game just due to the fact that this game is full of spoilers and we wanted you to play it.
Do that.
Just let us know through some means if you care about spoilers, because
it makes it so hard to talk
these
about games if we especially if it's story driven, because otherwise we're kind of limited to games that have zero story.
Yeah, so just let us know. If you don't want to hear about spoilers, if you do want to hear about spoilers, we definitely understand either way.
I know we kind of ruined it with the epic tale of Toki. We kind of ruined that story for everybody, but
yeah, we've pretty much ruined every single game. But
can I actually tell a story?
It does actually dictate it
before we get into everything. Okay, so when MySpace was a thing and Harry Potter came out, the 5th Harry Potter book or 6th Harry Potter book came out, and it was a huge deal. The day of the book's release, the spoilers were posted online. So I was on MySpace and they had a forum thing on the side for all my friends list. And I posted something. It was regarding my recent health problems. And when you would click on it, it was all the Harry Potter spoilers.
Jesus Christ.
People were...
All I had on my MySpace was a 300
People were pissed.
question survey about how I was a fucking buff Dracula hunting cool guy. Because, what else would you post on Facebook?
Let's talk about MySpace after the game. That's actually an interesting
did
conversation.
I say Facebook? Yeah. Jesus. Okay, so we'll bring this up after the game. Yeah, we have a whole section for this. But first, let's talk about the game in question. What did you pick for us this week, Dana?
We were talking about, extreme sports for a little bit, so it got me thinking of a game I really used to enjoy when I was a wee lad. It's called ATV Offroad Fury 2, which is it sounds like it's an ATV racing game, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. I think you had something wrong with you last podcast because Like, yeah, you mentioned Kelly Slater Pro Surfer, but then you accidentally said Jesse Slaughter Pro Surfer, like in the second conversation. Then you also mentioned Shane Dawson BMX. Are you okay?
I was just like making up names.
Are you
They
like?
all sound like that. It's like, kitty asshole, pro scooter or something. I don't know.
Jesus. I mean, like Jesse Slaughter Pro Surfer. It's like you done goofed going down this wave. You're gonna get wiped by the current and then
I definitely punched
hit a
my
rock
hand
and then
into the mic.
bleed out. Well, anyway, this is ATV Offroad Fury 2, aka Extreme Sports Game 96 for the PS2. We've already wiped away this genre as like a viable genre. This is a generic game in 2008.
You really can't do this anymore. From like the soundtrack to everything about this game just screams like early 2000s, like young teenage boy angsty, like Monster Energy playing this game.
So the one thing I kept thinking about when I thought about playing this game, well, I played this game for about 2 hours, but when I was playing this game, I kept thinking like, wow, this is the perfect rental title. This is a game I would play for like an hour and be like, this is amazing. I wish I played it more, but then I would never play it again. I would be very pleased to never play it again because there's really not that much depth to it. Like, this is the game I would play at a friend's house
and have
like,
a good time,
enjoy it, and then I would
that's
never
exactly
buy it
what
for
happened
myself.
as I rented this game.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised because you mentioned like renting Jet Moto for about 75 hours.
So just talk about the mechanics, I guess. It's just a simple racing game. What I like about it is a lot of the simplicity to it. There's no weird drifting. There's no like crazy turns. It's you turn left, you turn right, you square to brake. And that's about it to it. There's like
there is a tiny complicated mechanic. They're like, oh, if you want to get air on a jump, you have to press down on the ramp and then up on the
which is kind of cool
because
because you can kind of time it to get like the perfect, because this is a very momentum based game. If you can time it to get the right bar of, I think it's called like suspension holding, you can get like a bigger jump or like a slower jump to keep your momentum going over like the humps, which it feels very satisfying to do. But yeah, there's not much depth. It's
I thought it was really cool when I was playing the tutorial because, of course, this is a game I've never played before, so I'm like, oh, I'll check out the tutorial. It taught me some very basic mechanics, like, oh, use X to move. But then, like, the one thing that I actually learned is, like, oh, you hit down on the ramps and you go up, and it's like, oh, it said, like, specifically, like, you can use this trick to get some rhythm in situations where you normally do not have rhythm. And it was like, okay, this is going to help me actually, like, gain momentum in the actual racing field. However, I noticed more times than not, by actually doing full jumps, I ended up like losing speed because I landed like way
so
past
you have
the
to
jump.
do it very delicately, because you can do it. It tells you even on like the hints on like the loading screens is like, don't do a full jump because you want to go low and far by doing a shorter one, by filling up the bar shorter, because then you won't go as high up. Like if you do the bar fully, you're just gonna go up as high as possible too, and that'll fuck your momentum.
So I have a question. Do you have like a fetish for like going off a jump and then like making the jump and like adjusting your incline so you perfectly land
dude,
the
feels
jump?
good. It feels good
Because we played Jet Moto. It feels good, but we played Jet Moto where it's the exact same thing. It's like you go off the jump at a perfect angle and then you land at a perfect angle and you get like
you
the
have
just
to admit
amount
though
of
the
speed.
controls on this are significantly better than Jet Moto.
Oh yeah, like I didn't immediately crash about every 5 seconds. In this
Jet Moto
game,
is a
which is
work of art.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but
the one thing I have about the controls, so I played this game. One of my favorite games of all time is called Revolt. It's a racing game, but it's like toy cars, and I would say this game controls similar to that, and like that's not necessarily a compliment in this game.
No,
because these are full ATV vehicles. I felt like these controlled by toy vehicles,
Yeah.
like Revolt. Like you press left, your car goes like
Yeah, you're
it's
like left,
Jesus
right,
Christ,
left,
no
right.
human would move this far at once. Like and like the acceleration, deceleration, it felt like you were driving like a literal plastic.
yeah,
like,
it does
1
feel
pound vehicle.
very strange to do that. Yeah, I mean, there's only like a handful of levels. I think there's like 5 in the first, then there's another 5, and then actually I think there's like 30 levels or something like that.
Can we talk about the number 5 though? because that's how many laps you had to
Dude,
do.
it's so long. Like, some of these races are so
Yeah.
fucking long.
It's like these levels are like a minute and a half per lap. It's like, oh, what's a minute and a half times 5? Like, oh, I guess I'm doing like
Like
what,
9 minutes.
9 minutes. 9 minutes of gameplay. And the thing about this game is that, like, yes, it's relatively easy to control, but the way this game works is like one crash will instantly put you in 5th. And then it's like, okay, I guess I can't advance, so I have to restart this 9-minute race.
Yeah,
and that upset me. Like, I enjoy this game from like a single race perspective.
Yeah.
But when I tried to actually do the career, that's when it started getting really frustrating.
I feel that even the normal career is too difficult, and it's just very what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it punishes you for not doing momentum right, and I feel like the computer is too good at doing the momentum thing. Like, the computer is played as if momentum is a baseline, like everyone just does that correctly.
No, you totally mentioned, like, yeah, there is that momentum, like the down up to like get more height, but like you have to actually know how much each jump is to understand what you have to do. And unless you've played this game so many times that you memorize each level, you're not going to get it. You could be lucky. You could just like get good momentum and then like beat.
Dude, that's why there's 5 laps.
Computer.
The first one is
yeah,
it's just
honestly, it's so ridiculous. Like the amount of times I had to restart a 9-minute race.
Really?
Like think about a Mario Kart. Like think about like you're playing a level 4 laps. Each lap's like 1 minute. Like that's four laps. Like this is a long race for you, right?
You're
No,
on
it's
the
like
last lap
over
and you get
double
hit with
that.
a blue shell.
Yeah, it's pretty much that, except way worse, because every single time you die in this game, like you have a cutscene and it's like you fly
physics.
off the ATV. But yeah, it was incredibly frustrating. So actually, I enjoyed racing. I did not enjoy the campaign that much. I will say though, the mechanics of falling off carts, I think this would be an amazing, and I mean amazing, multiplayer experience. And I bet that's how it's normally played.
Mostly.
Yeah. I bet that's what this game was advertised as, because if you run over a car, like if your wheels touch a person, the person they wipe out. Yeah. So think about like a battle mode in like a Mario Kart game where you ram a cart and like their balloons go off. Like that's basically this game, except I think it's a little bit more animated. I think it's a little bit more satisfying. So like racing against people you know and being in a situation where you could just fucking run them over.
And I think that's where a lot of my memories come from, is like playing the multiplayer, just like Coach Co-op, listen to angry 2002 horrible alternative metal music.
Yes, angry. Seriously angry. Like, I kept thinking like this soundtrack could be good, but they went way too hard on like one genre of just like new metal kind of.
It's like
it almost it's like Korn but not Korn. Like they had like
it's like
one good
Korn
song. They had like
and then like white trash rap music.
Yeah, and then like one System of a Down song. Which
and then there's like random breakbeat music.
Yeah, like the whole game I'm thinking like, wow, they tried to be Tony Hawk, but they just entirely did one genre, and like I'm like I don't really feel like we're writing ATVs. I'm not bucking the system. I'm like riding an ATV. This is like a very
you know what it is that they had no budget for any music licenses, so they just grabbed kind of what they did. It feels like
it's like, this is a disagreement. I forgot the song, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to play the free ride mode?
I didn't, but
that's like my favorite part of the game. It is so good.
So what I was gonna say, I have a point here, and maybe it's wrong because of the free ride mode. And I feel like this might have been a similar situation to San Francisco 2049. I'm not sure if you played that game. Ever played it?
San Francisco Rush?
Yeah, like Rush 2040.
Yeah, I played all the Rush games. Oh, that game, I forgot about that game. Those games are sick.
It was so sick. Like, and you understand there's like a stunt mode in those games where you could like do whatever.
Like the free ride stunt area? That shit was sick.
Yeah, Rush is my favorite game. I feel like this game tried to emulate it, and like it had like stunts on jumps, but I felt like it was so forced. Like every single time I tried to do a stunt in the race mode, it only hindered me. It never actually helped me.
There's no point to do it in the race mode. Like, actually, there's no point.
The tutorial's like, oh, press this button to do a stunt. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get some points. But, like, it doesn't help your speed. It, for the most part, actually hurts you. Like, because
you're
wipe
you're
out.
Stuck in, like, one motion. Like, the free ride mode is very cool because you only kind of, like, during the campaign, you only play through, like, the certain stages. But, like, each of those stages is, like, contained in a very excuse me, a very large map. Like the maps are huge, and you can go around. Like there's different there's like really nothing to do. It's just like different like ramps, like scenic areas and stuff like that, and they're like pretty thought out. And it's a lot of fun to go through. And there's like 8 or 9 different like huge maps to go through, and it's just very cool to go through and like do different jumps. Something I would do with my friends is like we would kind of make our own lines and be like, oh, we can do it faster and stuff like that. Like,
but you could actually go through them, because one of the problems I had in the actual main game is the out of bounds system was terrible. It's like, oh, I want to take a shortcut. It's like, oh, you're out of bounds. You might as well just fucking give up, because you're gonna spawn like 8 seconds behind yourself.
see, I never had that problem. It would say out of bounds, and then I would immediately go back in, and it wasn't a problem. Maybe
There were certain sections, like so maybe it was just that it was so harsh on what it considered out of bounds. There were sections that were very obviously looking like a shortcut, and I would not take them because I thought it was like out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a jump that was like in a refuse pile or something like that, and you're like,
yeah, it was like, oh, I shouldn't take this because this game is very adamant about calling me out of bounds.
I feel like this game is like 70% away of being like actually like fantastic in a lot of aspects.
Just add more rap to your soundtrack to be Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Have a little bit less unforgiving gameplay. There you go. Then you're Tony Hawk. The end.
Yeah.
I'm a Tony Hawk maker.
I did kind of like a little bit of. It's not like super in depth. The customization is kind of cool. You know, unlock different.
Yeah,
ATVs.
you could pick your helmet. That doesn't matter. You could pick your jersey. That doesn't matter.
It's
you can pick your
cool.
shoes.
I can get.
It's cool.
I can get the Fox one. I can get. I don't know fucking ATV brands. Do you think someone's watching this like, I can't believe they played the ATV game that they got the fucking...
Someone who's following the ATV Offroad Fury 2, not one, or I don't know how... They played in a lot of these games, I feel.
They made like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
This game actually is very actively speedrun.
But someone's watching too, and they're watching this video, and they're pissed. They're just pissed that we're not only saying praise about this game.
I had fun playing it.
I had fun playing. I actually enjoyed it, like from a just whatever aspect.
I think if we could have played it like co-op though, I think we would have had a blast.
Yeah, I seriously think the act of running over another ATV, but the other ATV is a person playing. That's fun.
Just like landing on their head.
When it's me on the 4th lap, when I'm in first, it's terrible because I have to restart a 9-minute race, and I'm 7.5 minutes in.
Maybe we can somehow do a co-op over the internet for a later episode. We'll revisit some of these games and have a virtual homework versus.
Speaking of overrated video games, what's like the most overrated movie you've ever seen?
Oh God, overrated?
Yeah, we're talking overrated movie right now. So I only asked
every Marvel movie ever made.
Okay.
Or superhero movie.
That's probably a good answer. I recently watched Fight Club and I was actually upset.
Really?
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one of those people that like, oh man, I'm basing my entire life off of Fight Club. You need to understand the deeper meaning. Like he fought. Like
the issue I have with the movie is just that like it's so prevalent. It's like every poster in every single college dorm room, and it's like it really didn't do anything for me. Like,
no,
I'm not gonna go.
Well, it's like the pseudo intellectual shit. It's like wearing those like Shay shirts that everybody has.
Yeah, it's like Ed Hardy. It's the Ed Hardy of like intellectual movies. We should bring back
Ed Hardy.
We're both just wearing Ed Hardy while filming this and like drinking a Monster. It's like damn.
Ed Hardy would probably play ATV Offroad Fury 2. Not gonna lie.
Ed Hardy's a person. I didn't even think about that. He probably is.
Yeah, he's a person.
He probably is. Yeah, his name's Ed Hardy.
Designer. He makes Ed Hardy clothing.
I don't even.
What the fuck?
No. The thing is, like, think about like Ed Hardy clothes. Someone had to make those. Like, god damn, that's
Ed Hardy.
Gross. Who's Ed Hardy? Why does he exist? Like, anyway. Speaking of gross, I'm from Chicago. Are you from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago.
So have you ever gone out of Chicago and missed something from Chicago?
Yes. Like food in general.
Yeah. Well, food and drink, or just food?
Just food. I can't really think of drinks.
So the thing I actually miss the most, and this is crazy because it's terrible, absolutely terrible. Have you ever had Malort? Jepson's Malort?
No.
Jepson's Malort
it's disgusting.
Is a liquor based in Chicago, and I actually genuinely miss it.
Like for the meme?
It's not for the meme. Like let me just get the description of Jepson's Malort.
Like even people who like Malort say it tastes terrible, and that's why they like it.
So
It's
the
like people
label,
put, like,
the label on the bottle says this: most first-time drinkers of Jepson Malort reject our liquor. Its strong, sharp taste is not for everyone. Our liquor is rugged and unrelenting, even brutal to the palate. During our almost 60 years of American distribution, we found only 1 in 49 men will drink Jepson's Malort. During the lifetime of our founder, Carl Jepson, he was apt to say, "My Malort is produced for that unique group of drinkers who disdain light flavor and neutral spirits. It's not possible to forget our two-fisted liquor. The taste lingers and lasts, seemingly forever.
It
The
sounds
first
awful.
shot is hard to swallow. Persevere. Make it past 2 shot glasses, and the third could be yours forever."
It's just like it's like people like putting fucking like needles through their nipples. Like
The first needle through the nipple is hard to handle, but the third needle through the nipple is pleasure.
you're like, I did it.
It's just pleasure. That's all you need.
I've never had it. I think we've had this a conversation like off podcast about Malort, and I've talked to other people about it. It's like no one actually likes it. It's just kind of like
I'm a decent fan.
Like,
I
actually
legitimately
like how it
I
tastes?
miss it. I want to try it. I think it's legitimately good.
I'll
Kind of
send you
licoricey.
some.
Kind of like
I'll send you some. I do. Ooh, I like black licorice though.
I kind of meant that in like a purely on like the taste way.
Oh.
It's kind of like dog shit.
Like, it tastes like straight up shit. Well, if
Delicious.
you could put a taste to it, what would it be?
Probably like black licorice puckered asshole.
I might like it.
Yeah, that sounds delicious, don't you? Don't you think?
On the topic of something completely unrelated, have you watched any shows or anything lately?
I literally was late to the podcast because I'm watching Cape Fear the movie.
What the fuck is Cape Fear?
It's Martin Scorsese. He's an actor.
Martin
No, he's not. He's a
Scorsese.
director. He made Goodfellas. He also made Cape Fear.
Was it good?
It was good. I enjoyed it. Did you have a reason to bring
Spoil
this
the
up, or are
ending.
you just bringing up stupid ass conversation
No,
like a bitch?
I've been watching anime. I've been watching fucking Initial D. I've never watched it before, and I'm fucking loving it.
How does it work?
Eurobeat fucking slaps.
It does.
Like, it's fucking, it's pretty good.
Did you
So I wanted to
did you slap your initial D card into your floppy drive and see if it loaded your skill level before you watched the anime?
No, but I still have my fucking card from like a decade ago.
Yeah,
It's upstairs on my desk.
imagine playing an initial D arcade game and not like framing your initial D arcade card.
But the point I want to make about it is, have you ever watched it before? It's basically like 17, 18, and 19-year-old kids speed racing through public roads at 10 o'clock at night, going like 80 miles per hour. There's no police presence anywhere, and they all are insane.
That upsets me because I would like to follow the police trying to restore order in Neo Tokyo.
Like, this would never work in America. Like,
Yeah.
they would get like
There'd be
instantly
like
shot
some
in the face.
suburban cop. It'd be like, my job is to shut down these people speeding, and then like it'd be like, you're driving 80 in a 60. Do you know that? And then it'd be like, oh, I guess
More like
I
driving
am.
80 in like a 15.
Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. Higher on the streets.
I like how you know the lyrics.
That's
What a nerd.
that's all I knew.
You know the rest.
I really don't.
What else do you got for me, Sam?
What? You're the one who's supposed to have talking points. I have a talking point that said you said you were going to have talking points. So tell me your talking points.
It's 1 to 1 to 1 to 1.
Yeah, I gave you 95. So give me 95 back.
You're like, Malort.
Windows 95.
Malort. Oh, we were talking about MySpace. MySpace was the shit, man. Like, were you old enough for MySpace?
Yeah, of course. I had a best friends list.
Well, not even that. Like, just like the editing and stuff was like so ahead of its time. Like the
Yeah, I use
HTML.
my random HTML and CSS skills to like make a page that auto played some speedcore song, and it was dope.
Yeah, I've had like some of like the best music ever on my MySpace. I still have some of my photos on there that are quite cringy. Do you like going through old media of yours?
Yeah, of course.
And,
And
cringing?
I'm just gonna have like a montage of Dana just looking stupid for like the next
you.
40 minutes of the podcast. Because like we're not even close to done. Like we're getting intervention mode with Dana, Like, I'm gonna just start
But I'm
screaming
getting
at
an
him.
intervention.
Yeah, like straight up for like, are you free for the next 40 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
All
what
right.
the fuck else am I gonna do?
All right, so I'm gonna invite me and just me to berate you for the next 40 minutes.
What a shitty that's not an intervention. That's just
that's
like
just me screaming at you at the top of my lungs.
it's like a harassment.
No, it's
There's
good.
like no one
It's
else
good.
involved.
Don't worry.
It's like, yo, I yelled at Dana for 40 minutes. This isn't
No,
an
because
intervention.
they wouldn't show up. They don't like you anymore.
If someone's like really racist to you, and that's like, bro, chill out. It's an intervention.
What, the person who's running the intervention is racist, or the racist person's getting intervened on?
No, like that's their excuse for being racist. It's chill. It's just an intervention.
That's a terrible excuse. Jesus, I would hope if I was screaming.
That's basically what you're doing.
I'm not screaming racial obscenities at you. Jesus.
No, you're not. But
Jesus. But you're saying that if I was, you would understand how to get out of the situation. You were saying that if this intervention was illegitimate, you would totally know how to get out of it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I mean, theoretically, we're what, like 500 miles away, or like 1,000,000 miles away.
1,000,000 miles away.
I could just be like disconnect.
Yeah, you could, but like, you've been trained. Some random person starts yelling. Like, we live in a 21st century society.
Like, do you think there's like tips to getting out of an intervention? Can we like actually search this?
It's like people like, oh, you think you fooled me? You think you got my friends and family here to talk about my problems? Like, nah, you are the one who's fooled.
I found how not to have an intervention.
So it's like, I have a problem.
Don't
like,
have a spontaneous intervention.
So like, you're talking like, you have a problem, but like, you just don't let your friends and family know, so like, they don't intervene on you.
Well, I mean, like, you're like taking like the most violent shit of your life, and it's like they just bust in the door, like, we gotta talk about your crack addiction, and you're like, what?
All right, so you're saying the best advice to not getting a crack intervention is just stop doing crack.
Yeah. That's
all right,
probably
there
a
we
good
go.
idea.
That's all we needed to say. So speaking of cracking open society, what's gonna happen once this quarantine thing's all over? What are you gonna do first thing?
Dude, I have to go back to work in like 2 weeks, and it's like I'm gonna get like a quarter of the hours. I'm gonna have like no customers. I'm just like, cool. I got paid more when I was on unemployment.
So what you should do is you should act like a baby. You should like just start screaming and slamming your hands on the counter.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just probably going to go to my boss and be like, listen, I will work for free. Let me get unemployment.
Oh my God.
Just don't report me.
Jesus Christ.
Because I'll make more money that way.
I mean, I guess, but you could be employed by the podcast. I'll pay you at least $2 a day.
That's pretty garbage.
I'll pay you at least $2 a month. And
That's
don't
pretty
you
garbage.
dare go to the government. Don't be a snitch.
Does this come with benefits?
No, the benefit is like I will smuggle you into Canada.
Like, you get to live.
Yeah, I will smuggle you into.
I will give you the antidote. This has gone off the rails.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna deny the vaccine? They have it.
I'm Googling this.
The vaccine in Canada? That's where you're gonna Google?
Canada have the vaccine.
They're not gonna tell a non-Canadian citizen whether or not they have the vaccine.
Dude.
Once you are smuggled into Canada, you will understand whether or not they do. But until then, you are under
How do you
my
know I'm not
power.
already in Canada?
Because we're literally voice chatting. You look like you're in your mom's house.
You don't know that.
I see
Well, like
nugs
the
in the
background
background.
behind me just fell down.
It's not like so like Zoom allows for virtual backgrounds, but like he doesn't have a virtual background. That's too much. He has a literal cardboard background of his like normal situation.
mom's house.
Yeah.
My mom's actually out of town right now, so I can be as loud as I want.
There we
I'm
go.
a big man in charge. Do you actually
You're not
have
in
to,
charge
have...
of diagnosis and vaccines like the Canadian
yet.
government.
Dude, what's with your fixation on the Canadian government? What do you
That's
got
where you're
against
going.
them? That's like some I don't want to go.
All right, well, we could bargain after the podcast, but until then,
$1.50.
you better have a talking point because I can't get away from this.
Dude, you should be like extra like gamer. You can be like in the Millennium Falcon. Wouldn't that be like super gamer? You got Baby Yoda there.
I guess, but I don't think people would trust me with Baby Yoda.
What the fuck is that supposed to
It
mean?
means that I would kill him. You think?
Oh.
Like, do you
Dude,
trust?
but you just set off like a whole bunch of moms on Facebook.
No, do you? So like hypothetically, you have an ant in your hand, just like an ant straight up in your hand, and you have your hand, your finger straight up above your palm. Do these people think that you would touch the Baby Yoda and destroy it?
I think you're a sociopath.
Do you think that the Baby Yoda would try to get you?
I'm pretty sure Baby Yoda could beat my ass.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that Baby Yoda is a threat?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you think that there would be a situation that comes up where you versus Baby Yoda would be an inevitability? And yes, it might be off screen, but hypothetically, you and Baby Yoda are in a fight, and you must fight to the death.
Like on top of a mountain?
Well, it doesn't matter. You're in the presence of Baby Yoda. It could be on top of the fucking counter in the background.
I could see it happening.
You can see it happening because it will. Because Baby Yoda is a very, very conflict.
I just imagine you like showing up my house in a Baby Yoda fucking costume. I like, open the door, you just stab me in the spleen.
I mean, like that would be a really entertaining video. Can we do that?
You're like pranked.
Yeah, like
Ashton
I'm
Kutcher
not
pops
actually
out.
stabbing Dana. Like he's into it. He's like,
You
yeah.
prank YouTubers.
Do you remember them? Like, yes. Do you remember?
We should like make our own. We should make our own prank show, except we have to like bring it up a notch.
So you know how like there's a second wave going on?
Of Corona.
No, of prank YouTubers. That's us.
I mean, they're both pretty disease ridden.
This is probably like the fifth wave of prank YouTubers. But anyway, like, who are we gonna prank?
the elderly.
No, absolutely not. Can we stop this? We're going way too deep off the deep end. Like the deep end was like 12 feet deep, and now we're like at 80 feet deep, and we're like,
You're the
should,
one that's
should we
like,
still keep going?
What if Baby Yoda
should
physically
we go?
assaults
Should we go to the 90-foot deep end of the pool, or should we stay at the 80-foot deep end of the pool? This is life right now. All right, the answer is that I don't know, we got too far. And in the end, it doesn't even matter.